We are HeadsUp Harrow, a consortium partnership of 5 local charities offering specialist mental health services to young people aged 11 to 25 across Harrow who face additional barriers to support. Our service is provided by Mind in Harrow, Mosaic LGBT+ Young Persons Trust, Centre for ADHD and Autism Support, Paiwand and the Wish Centre. Why were we formed? In 2018, the Young Harrow Foundation surveyed 4,000 young people across Harrow and identified the top 5 areas where young people felt they needed support. Mental health came out as number 1. While there are already lots of fantastic mental health services across Harrow, we identified 5 critical gaps that we hope to respond to. The first was a lack of specialist outreach and early intervention, and in particular a peer-led approach, meaning that young people did not have the tools and strategies to improve their mental health. The second was an increased prevalence of children and young people experiencing suicidal thoughts and self-harm. Thirdly, a distinct lack of provision of services for ADHD and autistic young people was identified, as well as a lack of support services and support for Harrow's LGBT+ community. Finally, being from a BAME community is one of 2 major risk factors for poorer mental health, but without trusted, culturally appropriate specialist services, young people struggle to access support. So how do we address these gaps? Mind in Harrow, who lead the consortium, offer peer-led workshops and assemblies to schools run by our young volunteers who teach mental health awareness, coping strategies, and talk about their lived experience of mental health, helping to reduce the stigma and help young people build emotional resilience. Our areas of expertise are self-harm, abuse and neglect, ADHD and autism, refugees, asylum seekers and migrants, including unaccompanied minors, and LGBT+. HeadsUp offer a selection of support including one-to-one and group support sessions, depending on the needs of the young person. In some situations, we can even support parents and carers. So if you or someone you know is feeling low, you may be able to refer yourself or them to our specialist mental health services. Our services are available to young people who are aged 11 to 25, are resident of or attending school in Harrow, have a diagnosis of ADHD or autism, are LGBT+ or are questioning their sexuality and or gender, are from a refugee or asylum-seeking family or are an unaccompanied minor, have self-harmed or have experience of sexual exploitation, abuse or neglect. You can find out more about what we do and how to refer to us at headsupharrow.uk, or follow us on social media for service updates, content from our young volunteers and wellbeing tips.